All right, the next horror story. The next one comes from Funny Apartment 9111. And it's titled simply The Worst Person I Have Ever Met. We will warn you that there is a sexual assault warning on this one. We don't read these in advance because we want them to be fresh with our reactions. So please be prepared.
The title, The Worst Person I Have Ever Met. Not player, not DM,
Person.
nothing. Person.
Personal attack.
Human being. The first words are, that title is not an exaggeration. It's not just the worst player I ever met. He's reading my mind. Yep.
Or you read his.
Not the worst player I've ever met. He is the absolute worst human being. Up to a word. I just told a human being that I have ever been in a room with.
It's brutal. I can't wait to hear why.
I've been playing TTRPGs for 20 years and have acquired many stories of bad players and DMs. I shared the story about a game I never got to play here, and my roommate told me to post about Stinkle. Stinkle? Obviously not his real name. I wasn't going to, because the less said about him the better, but my roommate talked me into it. I will start with his less egregious offenses and build to a crescendo of evil. Firstly, Stinkle's hygiene. Okay, yeah, this is the first thing we notice in any person. This man never bathed like ever. His whites were actually yellow. Ooh. I saw this man wear the same outfit multiple sessions in a row without washing it. His hair was a greasy mess, grown out to shoulder length, but like everything else about him, it was unkept. People would ask him, if you don't want to take care of it, why don't you cut it? His response was, then everyone will know I'm bald. A wonderful human being.
Yeah.
He had the most obvious bald spot I've ever seen, even with his greasy matted mess of hair. So he had that mess for no reason. There was this cloud of stink that just got in your nose and stayed there. Hence, the nickname Stinkle. It smelled like milk left out for a week. And that's the least awful thing about him.
Oh no, that's pretty
We are
bad.
heading towards a BBAG of those RPG horror stories characters. Next, he seemed to be only be interested in DnD as a way to experience any kind of sexual interaction. He wasn't able to get any kind of attention in that way for reasons beyond just his hygiene. We'll get to that. So D&D was his way to find that fantasy. Small aside, I don't care about ERP, even if it is a part of a game I'm playing in. I don't ERP, but hey, play how you want as long as it is not forced on other people. Having said that, I joined the game he was running, an anime-themed 5e game. I am a gay man and love all things feminine. So playing a magical anime girl sounded like so much fun. After Stinkle, I don't play women characters anymore. The first thing he asks about my character, not class, not backstory, not role in party. No, the first thing he asks is nasally voice. What's nasally, do you know? It's like...
Nasally is like he has a high voice. It comes out of his nose. So he talks like this.
Oh, how are your boobs?
Yeah, like that.
How big are your boobs?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It sounds like some evil. Yeah, this sounds like,
It's like-
a BB.
It's like Mickey Mouse sexually assaulting you.
I didn't know how to respond except to say, don't think that's going to matter. He then says,
No, I wrote a spot for it on the character sheet. So he modified the character sheet to include boob size. What?
but he is not like, oh, he is the M. He is a D.
He's Stinkle's the DM, yeah.
Single seat. I looked at the shit he gave me, and this guy actually created a stat labeled bulge boost under the shit.
Oh
I
no.
moved on and just wanted to play, which I did for only 2 sessions. I was already a 10-year veteran of TTRPGs, so I already knew no D&D is better than bad D&D.
I don't necessarily agree that no D&D is better than bad D&D. We may differ in opinion about what's bad D&D, but I think if it goes into like sexual assault, then it's you got to get out of that game, find another game. So, I think a lot of people give up their game too easily even when problems are solved. We've seen a lot of that in these horror stories.
Yeah, this is an epidemic of rage quitting.
Yeah, and often it's not for reasons as good as this one.
And other people we see keeping terrible players in their games and sacrificing everybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
In the first session I played, the first thing I saw him do was make another player, also playing a female character, soil their underwear and force a quest to get a fresh pair, which he definitely needed by himself, as far as I understood.
Yeah, they should have done like a side quest where the players got together and helped him get some new clothes and a bar of soap.
Players team up and get him to the bath. Show him the way. The campaign itself seemed to be centered around another player building a harem inspired by Stinkle's very not safe for work Monster Girl encyclopedia. Every woman NPC seemed to just be a sex doll with ridiculously exaggerated proportions, triple P cup breasts, and the like. Okay, so those huge boobs anime characters that disproportional. Yeah, I've made some himbo and bimbo NPCs. They can be fun for storytelling or even as quest givers. Lord Charnington can't find his gold-plated barbell or something silly like that. Mm-hmm. However, every woman NPC was nothing but an airhead for the players to add to their collection. I would have stopped at one session, but he ended it on a combat cliffhanger. I stupidly thought, cool, I can do something fun next session. I was wrong. The next session started with one of his DMPCs showing up and ending combat without any player participation, and returned to the real goal of sexing up monster girls. I walked away. So he dragged in his DMPC to fight the boss. What a nice move. Something everybody was expecting, waiting for.
We got to get out of this combat and get back to sexually assaulting monster girls.
Yeah, come on, guys. What are you wasting your time for?
How did he even make it through one session? I would have been gone in 10 minutes.
Oh, there is. The story doesn't end in here.
No, he walked away and the story somehow continues.
So the story continues. There is a part where Stinkle is as a player. I decided to run a game after having taken a break from DMing. Stinkle wanted to play. I didn't want him in, but the rest of the group talked me into letting him play. We'll get to why later. When are we going to get to all of those later stuff? He was mentioning before also about his attraction to girls, I guess. Stinkles, I mean. So I asked for backstories, but they weren't mandatory, just got a little bonus XP to start if you did provide one. Stinkle was one of the only two players that did. He went with the noble background and used the Retainer's Rule variant. This is his character without any exaggeration. A noble woman with peacock breasts. I don't even know what is referring to peacock breasts.
They're huge. P cup is like a normal woman is like C.
Oh, okay. All right. We have numbers. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, here we have letters.
A noble woman with a peacock breasts. Because of course that's what's listed first after woman. and the rest of his backstory was him describing his retainers in obscene detail and how they have sex with me. No personality, no motivation, no nothing other than breasts and sex. So I don't run ERP games, again, if that's what you are into, fine. I'm uncomfortable with it at my table. So he doesn't have anything against, but he's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So my goal was to keep him away from his retainers and the party on the plot. Every single time he had a chance to speak, it was either my boobs look great and bounce, or where are my retainers? That's the all RP he gives them. he brings to the table.
Embarrassingly bad.
My boobs look great in the bones. The fourth or fifth time he brought up sex with his retainers, I said,
Yes, Stinkle, you're Harvey Weinsteining your employees.
hoping to shame him into lightening up. And his response?
Yeah.
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 It's gotta be, yeah, high pitch like that, right?
I wish I was kidding. The man was okay with the fictional characters being beholden to having sex with him. I was already sick of him, but then came the straw that broke my back. The heir to the kingdom was a half-elf child, a girl. I love the boy-girl who would be king-queen trope, and the party was supposed to rescue her from the streets and elevate her to the throne. When a combat encounter came, the party was supposed to run and fight a monstrous snake before it got to her, Stinkle says.
I stay with the child.
Oh, yeah. Oh. It gave me some
I'm sorry, I imagined it with heavy breathing.
scary goosebumps. Weird, but not insane. Then, while the rest of the party was fighting the snake, his character comforts the child by resting her head between my boobs. And my
Man.
character is a sad now.
I'm also sad, like his character.
That's grooming behavior. I shut it down immediately and said, she runs away from you and hides. After the snake fight, I ended the session and told everyone I was booting him. They refused to play if Stinkle didn't play. Oh, they refused to play if Stinkle didn't play. They are enjoying his company. So that campaign died. That's the only thing he wanted is to be there and saying that his boobs are bouncing. It is horrible. It is a horrible D&D.
Yeah, this is bad. You can find another game. This is one of those instances where I agree that this campaign should die. If all of these people are enabling this person, the campaign needs to die.
Not only enabling it, they are encouraging him. So the author asks, why were all these people so insistent on backing up this sex pest? Because he figured out weaponized PT? Every single time someone tried to make him culpable to his actions, he'd do an anime entire poor me routine. He's complaining, victimizing himself.
Yeah, a lot of victimizers do that. They victimize and then they turn themselves into the victim.
Always claiming people were bullying him. How he can't catch a break and
girls don't like good guys like me.
Nice guys.
You're not a good guy.
All the girls are only after chads and the ones who will break their hearts, not nice guys like you, Stinkle.
They just don't understand your need to sexually assault them.
They are not enlightened enough.
Yeah, you're the victim here.
Of course. I almost changed that to nice guys like me. Oh, me too. Dude, we're thinking the same way.
Yeah, you said the same thing.
For the stereotype, but I want to emphasize that none of this is changed or exaggerated. This verbatim what this guy was like. Yeah. So people kept coming up to bat for him. Something that will further boggle your mind in a moment. And it is still continuing. The story of Stinkle is not going to wrap up. Finally, the big one. The thing that cements him as the worst person I've ever met. I was talking to someone that was adjacent to the friend group and he tells me he won't hang out with them anymore. He says it's because of Stinkle. Then tells me that Stinkle is a rapist. I didn't think he meant literally. I thought since Stinkle was an annoying sex pest that he was just comparing him the worst kind of sex pest. No, he showed me on his phone that Stinkle was on the sex offender registry for SA. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison for that. I did some googling and found the news article from his case, and he had as aid a mentally and physically challenged woman. That was it. I was done. Oh shit! He was playing D&D with a real creep. The worst part was the entire group already knew. They didn't care. I couldn't believe it. I have not talked to a single one of them in years. Sorry for the long post, but everything needed to be said. So they should have shut down his all of those insinuations about boobs and what is happening out there. It
Yeah.
is like a meeting of anonymous creeps.
I don't obviously have a problem with people serving their time, learning their lesson. You should get a second chance. But this guy is reliving these fantasies through the game. That is not okay. And why these other people were allowing this to continue in the game is baffling to me. So not only is Stinkle a bad person, but all of those people who are allowing this to happen are bad people. Why?
But maybe on the other side of the coin, there is this theory. I don't agree with it, but I'm just flew in my mind that maybe these exactly fantasy games keep him out of actual situations.
I don't know.
Of making
man.
it. No?
Yeah, I know you said you don't necessarily agree with it, and I definitely don't agree with it. If you're gonna live in that headspace, even in fantasy, then you're putting your mind there repeatedly.
True.
Yeah, I don't agree with
You're
this.
boggling the idea, and it will come up in real life eventually.
Yeah.
Sooner or
Yeah.
later. Yeah. True.
I don't like anything about this. And this person who wrote the article, find a group of normal people. There's plenty of people out there that aren't like this, that play D&D. Trust me, there are.
For me, the reason of him being stinky is pretty much enough to consider playing with him anymore.
Yeah.
This a big no for me to stay in the same room with a guy who stinks.
Yeah,
Verily unbearable.
There is one person who wrote a response. Quixotic James. He says, you encountered a cat piss man. The only solution for a guy like that is to absolutely direct with them and give them consequences. Otherwise, they'll make load of it and blow it off. They get away with it because others let them get away with it, including this whole group. Don't make jokes. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't use soft, socially acceptable suggestions. Use direct statements like, your hygiene is unacceptable. Don't come back until you've showered with soap and are wearing clean clothing. I agree. The second one, the game is not a place for your sexual fantasies. Write fiction if that's what you want, but keep it away from people who aren't consenting. And then the last one, you're a rapist and never speak to me again. And to be clear, this advice is for others since you seem to have already figured it out. I don't necessarily agree with the last one. If you did something wrong in your past and you served your time, I think you should get a second chance. I may not feel comfortable playing with you, especially if I was a woman. I might not feel safe playing with you. But the fact that he was acting out these fantasies in the current game tells me he's not past this. Like, he may have gotten out of jail. He's going to repeat it, yeah. And I don't want to be part of that.
He should be on a probation or something, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he was, or maybe he finished the probation. I don't know, but this is not okay. And enabling this behavior, I'm sorry, it's going to make you complicit in some bad acts that are going to take place eventually.